All right. So I have the pleasure to be here with Mr. Ryan and Cody. They run a sub agency at the Dig Agency, their own thing. What is it called now?
RYCO Solutions.
RYCO Solutions. RYCO Solutions. Yeah. Get it? They're doing 150,000 plus a month in final expense, strictly telesales business. Cody over here, he writes easily 50,000 a month. Ryan, 25, 30,000 ish. They know what they're doing, folks, and they're here to tell you more about how they're successful selling over the phone. I can't wait because yesterday they were at my Airbnb. We recorded them selling insurance, and I got to listen to Cody and some of his like word, tracks, word tracks, and scripts as we call it. And so I'm going to ask you about those because there's pretty cool stuff I think you guys will like. So let's give them a warm round of applause. Thank you for being here. All right. So why don't y'all tell us how you got into final expense to begin with? Cody, you to start.
Long story or short?
The short.
Okay. I just had some random person that I knew worked for me, quit, came in one day and brought me lunch, and she wanted to show me her bank account. And I always had to buy her lunch, right? So I was like, what's going on here? She showed me her bank account, 9,000 in 2 weeks. And I was like, right now, if you can do that, I can do it. I don't know what you did, but if you did it, I can do it. And I texted my wife. I said, hey, honey, I know this is crazy, but put the kids in the car when I get home. I got to start studying for this exam. Right? We had a newborn and a baby on the way. And so put them in the car, started working, studying, got my license, and then didn't really know anything about insurance, but just hit the ground running. Right? So that's how I got in.
That's called momentum. Okay. That's what you got to have. Ryan, what about you?
Yeah, so essentially I worked for a call center, learned sales through the call center, worked really hard, had never been in sales, and was lucky enough to learn how to actually sell somebody, and that you basically sell everybody at some point in your life. And that job was coming to an end because they had put us at home during COVID, and I am that guy who loves to sit in an office all day long and look at my four walls. So I was really disappointed that was going to end. And a friend there actually said, hey, look, I think you'd be good here. I had no idea what it was. Actually, accidentally applied, never heard back through Indeed. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll give it a shot. Got into it, and turns out I got a knack for it. So that's basically my story.
Cool. Now both of y'all did face-to-face to start, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I started in face-to-face, and for, I don't know, the 3 to 6 months roughly, was doing it part-time. And the wild thing was I just found it so inefficient and started talking to my upline then. And he's like, look, man, you sold over the phone. Why don't you just do this over the phone? I was like, am I allowed to do that? He's like, you're your own boss. You can do what you want. So I went ahead and did it, and it worked for a while. And then we went in-home, and I realized I'm going to quit the business if I continue to do in-home. So then I pivoted again, and thank God found Mr. Duford here, and the rest is history. So
what about you, Cody? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was actually successful at in-home. But my problem is that I could only hit so many houses in a day. Right, I lived in the city. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, so I could do 15 to 20 houses a day. But if I got 1 or 2 deals, it was 10 houses, 8 houses a day. Right, in home is an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Right, telesales, I can close a couple deals in 45 minutes. Right, so it's a big difference. So being in home, Ryan was over here doing his own thing, and he just said, hey, I'm lonely. Literally is what he told me.
Sounds about right.
You help me hold myself accountable. Try it out. First day I made $8,000. I had done telesales previously, but I made $8,000 that day, and I was like, all right, you're right. I'm done. So, yeah, that's what it is.
Right. So you got in telesales through the long route of face-to-face first, like many of us, right? Okay, great. So I'm going to jump right into the script. I think, I had the pleasure of listening to the sales calls and got to listen to what you guys do. I just want to jump to it. What are your, you use these word tracks, these like words at different parts of the presentation, Cody.
Give me an example.
Yeah, like whippersnapper. Whippersnapper. Tell us the whippersnapper script.
Okay, so this is a story. So my grandma adopted me. She was born in 45, so she's like ancient, right? And so she always called me a whippersnapper as I was growing up. So anybody that's born in 57 and older, right? I ask them if they know what a whippersnapper is, and they always say yes to me. When they say yes, I close the deal every time, right? If they don't, then I like explain to them what it is and make more rapport, right? I've learned, I lived in the Valley, which is like Harlingen, Brownsville area in Texas. That's like right on the border of Mexico. And I ran a company there for 9 years. Running the company, I was the only white guy. Didn't know any Spanish. I played basketball, so I passed Spanish in school because I played on varsity. So I didn't have to learn it. So I had to make myself look stupid to make people feel comfortable talking to me. So that is like an asset that can be a joke, right? I can make myself look stupid and it doesn't embarrass me. So people will open up to me a lot more when I talk to them like that. So that's a whippersnapper. It's just something stupid I say that they get. And
what are kind of like turn of the tongue do you use? Like, there's a good bit of it. What, Ryan, throw some out there. I know you know.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you know, being on the spot it makes it difficult.
I know, right?
Honestly, it's very, both of us. So the interesting thing is both of us are so much alike. That's part of the reason why we wound up being business partners, is because there have been times where he'll make a decision and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Why not? You know, and same way with our script. All of our agents literally are like, wow, that was cool. What did you just say there? I'm like, I don't know, man. I just kind of comes out that way, you know. Talking about objections and so forth, because that's a lot where a lot of the word tracks come from. It's not, to us, it's not objections. We're either having a conversation with the client and just adjusting to them, like if I were to be talking to my mom, you know. So anything I would say to my mom, I'd say to them. And I think that's why it's kind of hard to just come off the cuff unless we're really like talking. I mean,
so do you have a script then?
Yes,
okay,
absolutely. And that's, so for us, what we teach our agents is, let's not have everything all scripted out. David mentioned that we do a Zoom, and we do a daily Zoom all day long. We take people into breakout rooms and whip them into shape, whatever we got to do. And the whole purpose there is we give you the bullet points. It's a script, and if everybody, we tell them you can read from the script and you can make a sale. However, that's a novice position, or that's where you start. How you get to, selling at an expert level, so to speak, is you learn those little nuances. You listen to your client and you react to your client rather than just saying, yes, sir. So how is your budget? What would you like to spend on your budget? It's reacting to how they've been talking the whole time about, I can't find anything to afford, or, I can't buy a can of peas, like literally, right? I mean, it's out there.
Something bad.
But ramen, well, they're not the same price. Anyway, by listening to that, that's how you know to approach the question. That's the expert level of it. So,
Cody, you want to add anything to that?
2 things.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
So you got to know who you're talking to, right? None of y'all are the exact same person. So I'm going to talk to Barb different than I'm going to talk to anybody else in here, right? And you have to be able to do that. It's a conversation, and it's okay to be, if I can use the word, ballsy with the conversation. Dave heard me yesterday being ballsy, telling them exactly how it is and not giving them the option, but telling them their only option, right? Not letting them choose the option, but telling them what the option is. So I think that's huge. And when it comes to the objections, it's literally just a conversation. So like, you don't want it, that's perfect for me. It's not going to hurt me, but what is it going to do to your husband or your family, right? Being honest and asking questions that will really make them think is this a smart decision to do right now or later? And everybody's all about one call close. I love them. I'm going to tell you, it's 40% of my business and 60% of my business is follow-up.
Wow.
And for me, Julian was hitting on it. Dave hits on it. He says he knows this now, I guess, about, what'd you say? The close ratio for 90 days out is 30%, 35%.
Yeah, 90, 120 or older. Like
Yeah.
30.
So I'll tell you, most agents who sell, they call the client more than one time, they have a higher success when they get to call 9, when they've called them 9 times. Okay. So 9 and 9 is 18, right? So what we do is we say, hey, you have to call every client at least 23 times before you're done with them. That's part of the program. No questions asked. And you're going to see that call 15 to 20, it's a way higher close ratio, way more communication, way more quotes, way more conversations. You might not dunk every ball you get, but you're going to feel way more confident going to the next one, right? And that's where you're going to close that deal.
Any questions so far?
So when you say closing from 15 to 20, is that when you've spoken to them all the other times before, right?
No, I've called them that many times.
Okay, so you've called them all these times. And then what makes them pick up after, let's say, the 15th time? Just because they're sick of you seeing your phone number? Or
maybe, or we use the same numbers, right? So they might, we also text them. We have drip messages and all kinds of things that we send out to them. Everything is pretty much automated except for us actually clicking call. So they see us a lot, right? And at the beginning, a lot of the times when somebody fills one of these out, it's because something happened. Somebody passed away, or their mom's sick in the hospital, or they got bad news at the hospital. They don't really want to answer the phone. They go online thinking that they can get a quick answer and find out what they can get, and then they get 400 calls. So every other agent in here is going to stop on call 4. But if I'm calling on call 20, they finally pick me up 2 weeks later, and they're like, all right, Cody, no one else is bugging me right now. What's going on?
I'll add this in just as an observation. I wanted to put in a request on realtor.com for a tract of land. And I got like 20 text messages in the first 24 hours, right, from different realtors because they share those leads. After that, nobody followed up. And that's how most agents are, you know? They call a couple times and then quit. No, these leads suck. No, you suck.
All leads suck.
That's right. Questions? So I do have a question for you guys. What rapport building? You know, we haven't talked about rapport building in the call. How do you guys approach rapport building on telesales?
I'll take
Conversation. Rapport building is never anything absolutely specific. It's all based on what they're talking about. Right. So Cody was talking about basically being self-deprecating. I'm very much that way, right? Like, I clicked the wrong button. Oh man, I can't believe I clicked the wrong button. Technology these days, it's a curse and a blessing, and it's always funny because many of the people that we're going to be talking to suck with technology. So, it's very easy to be, that is probably both of our biggest sticks is being self-deprecating, being able to joke with them about a mistake or whatever.
So do you find you're doing that in the beginning of the call, midstream?
Throughout the entire call.
Okay.
Never is it just one spot. So that was actually one big thing that I especially learned early on, and we just kind of built upon together, was trying to just set a specific point, whether it's in the beginning, in the middle, in the end, it doesn't matter. Setting a specific point of rapport building for us is the wrong way to go because it's very salesy, right? Like a salesman walks into your house and, oh, nice jacket, and oh, nice hair, but whether you have nice hair or not, but when it comes down to it, if you're having a conversation with your mom, you're not going to be complimenting your mom constantly, or just one time throughout a conversation. You're going to be joking around, actually telling her she looks pretty throughout the conversation. So rapport building isn't just a one-time situation.
And I would definitely say, when you think about going somewhere like buying a car, right? I guarantee everybody hates going to buy a car, right? Because you walk on the lot and you're hit, right? And they think they know better than you. They know exactly what you want. They ask you what you can afford, and then they're on to financing, right? Oh, I'll see what I can knock off for you, help you out. But really, if you just ask them, hey, what do you need? What did you fill this request out for? What can I help you with? I'm on your side. I don't work for the insurance company. I work with you. Things like that make them feel cared about and noticed. And when you're asking things about prescriptions, what do we have? What do we got going on? Do we have any issues with cancer, heart attack, strokes, any kidney disease? You can wipe your butt, right? Like things like that. That's literally in our script. It's literally in our script, right? And it made y'all laugh. It makes them laugh too.
Agents ask that all the time. Really? You say that? It's in our script. You say that? Absolutely.
And I mean, and you're gonna know who not to say it to, right? Because you're building rapport. You're building rapport through the conversation, right? So you have to match energy from the beginning to the end. I've made several mistakes where I've been joking around, right? And I answer the phone. We're in an all-day Zoom. So we have 15, 20 agents in there with us all day long who are watching us close deals and then closing them behind us, right? So I'll be joking, and then Sue will answer the phone. I'm like, hey, Sue. Well, guess what? I end up closing that deal, doing that voice the whole entire way through, right? This just happens that way, because I'm not going to let up and now that I know I got it, be like, all right, Sue, right? Because then she's going to be, this guy's a scammer, he's fake. I'm going to cancel my policy tomorrow, right? So you just got to live a little, right?
So training, let's talk agent training. You guys take new agents, you train them up to be successful in telesales. What are if you give it 2 or 3 things that really help agents learn the craft of selling insurance, what would they be?
Conviction, consistency, and schedule. Those are going to be my 3 all the time, right? If you don't have conviction, just get out of here. Why are you wasting your time? Even if you don't know the product or believe in the products, look at all the people around you doing the exact same thing, right? Consistency is showing up every day. You work for yourself, but if you come to our agency, you still work for yourself, right? But if I'm the first one in and the last one out, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, I would expect for y'all to have a similar thought process of hey, if I want to be successful, I should do something similar, right? We have a guy, Sam, who works with us that actually is an actor. He's in some Netflix shows and things of that nature, right? And he's putting in as much time as he can on the side to do this part-time. And he can still make a sale, 2 sales, 3 sales a week, right? But it's because he knows as soon as he gets in the office, it's time to work, right? And then schedule. If you can't schedule your time out and be productive in the hours that you can actually make money, you're never going to make money. If you're worried about contracts and carriers and all these notices and all these emails you got to get back to and looking at these cool things, you're never going to make money. You just need to get on the phone and dial, and then you can parcel those things out over time, right?
Yeah, so 1,000% agree with him, of course. What I would add to that is I would say what probably sets us apart is we are so intimate with our agents when it comes to the whole process. I mean, Cody raises them into the business. He spends the first couple weeks nonstop with them, listening to all their calls, doing everything. I'm picking up the pieces, where they need help here and there. But the biggest thing is we spend all day with them on a Zoom, and you're on there with your camera on. There's no hiding. We know what you're doing. You're not looking up goofy websites or anything. We're making sure we're all, because we all get tempted, right? So not like that, Dave. No, but really, I mean, it's all about making sure, again, holding us all accountable. But when it comes to training, we don't, our goal is not to just hand you a script and say, absolutely memorize it and have it absolutely perfect. We want to get you in the fire as soon as possible. And while you're on the phone, we have a set of headphones that we recommend to all of our agents. They don't have to use it, but we recommend them. We recommend a whole equipment setup of, hey, look, this is what you want to at least strive for, or get an extra screen or whatever. But with that extra with that headset, what it allows us to do on Zoom, they can share their audio, and then we can talk to them while they're on the phone with the client. It makes leaps and bounds difference. Where if we're sitting here reviewing a call back and forth, and I'm like, yeah, Dave, you could have really done better there. You could have said this, and why in the hell did you say that? Instead, in the middle of the call, we're like, shut up. You're talking too much. Listen to him.
The client can't hear us.
Yeah. The client, the headphones is where the advantage comes in, is the client can't hear us, and we could tell them, hey, look, you're talking too much. You miss this section in the script, because that's absolutely most important. Is if you miss a portion in the script, you're bound to get objections. You're bound to get hung up on. You have to follow everything. And so us being able to be there every step of the way, especially in the beginning, we can train agents what we believe so much faster. It's very hard on us at times, but so much faster because we're right there in the thick of it. And you can learn those little word tracks that we come up with out of our backside.
Questions?
So since you guys do more of like the 2-call close, do you initially, as far as the first call, is that like a 5-minute call? Then the second one is more for the rapport building. And for the first call, how do you, what do you say to get them to most likely show up to that second call? Since, a lot of people don't show up 50% or so. Do you have like a higher show rate on the second call based on how you set that up?
Yeah. In all honesty, I sell exclusively appointments. I don't. Literally, I made a sale yesterday on a cold call, and that was the first cold call I've done in a year. Yeah. So whenever I can't answer some of that, and the fact that when it comes to going with the follow-up, one, you really do have to set the appointment, but it's more, do they have a valid reason? So.
Yeah, and to be clear, we want to one-call close everybody, right? That's the goal. Most money, best efficiency. But what happens is like what's his name was saying earlier, people are in their car or at work or at a rodeo, or gunshots in the background, car crashes, something like that. So what we do is we say, hey, we really want to make this work if it's something that you're interested in. You put your beneficiary as this, you put your height and weight as this, your IP address is this. Like, we have a whole bucket of information that we can give them. We know it's really them. We tell them to take our name and number down and save it in their phone, and we set a call back for like 24 hours, right? We get, I would say it's a pretty high ratio, right? Versus like, hey, Doug, yeah, I'll call you back tomorrow. Okay, great. You forgot to get a time. You forgot to tell him your name. He doesn't know the number to call at. He doesn't know the number you're going to call from, right? And then you set a follow-up, and our system automatically texts them, reminds you of the appointment, all of those kinds of things, right? And there's a real big difference in a follow-up and a scheduled appointment. And that's something you really got to get. Like, you got to be honest with yourself. I don't want you to talk to 10 people today and walk away and not have sold anything, but I got 3 that I got, right? That's the worst thing you could do. You want to know that you got one really solid one that you can probably count on, and then 2 or 3 follow-ups that you're going to check in with, hopefully shoot for the moon and land in the stars, right? There you go.
Questions?
What lead process do you use to schedule appointments? Do you have a schedule that set your calendar full?
So one of the biggest things, so we use Facebook. We're exclusively through Facebook. I handle all the lead processes for all the agents. So the whole goal is to, what really allows people to book more appointments is the age of your campaign. So the longer it's run, the more likely you're going to get more appointments. But the process is, so in marketing, the thing I've learned is everybody wants to put out there that, hey, look, your price is $55 a month, and you're going to get with this company. Everybody would love to do that and then get them on the phone and then you sell them. But in marketing, you can't do that, right? So you have to be somewhat obscure. Same way with the appointment. It's all about getting approved. You're pre-approved. You're going to get approved. Click this button to get approved, and then it automatically takes them to the calendar. So they see the lead, they click the button, they follow. I believe we're somewhere around 13 points. We're not shy about it. We want enough high intent that they know what they're doing, but not too much that they won't fill out the lead. But as they go through that, then at the end, again, click now to get approved. Doesn't say book appointment or, hey, obviously in our privacy policy, we've got the right provisions, but at the end, it doesn't say, click here to book your call with Ryan and it's going to be so great, because nobody wants to freaking click on that, so they want to feel like they're going to get approved. Am I lying to them whenever they go to the calendar and they open it up? And that's the way you get approved. Am I lying to them about that? No, it just made them think that maybe they were going to fill out an application. So,
Questions?
I will add to that. We do have strategic things that we do. Like we only let them book out 3 days. Like they can't book next Sunday, right? So and anything that's on our Google Calendar for like going to pick up our kids or something, it shows that we're scheduled for appointments, not that we're off, right? So it looks like we're more busy. And it also shows a picture of us on that booking page, so they know who they're going to talk to and who's going to call them, right? So those are some really big pluses that help us out.
That helps that more helps the answer ratio whenever we go to call them. That and always using the same number, but.
And for your Facebook campaigns, do you use the lead form generator, or do you have them go out to your personal website and it's the lead form there?
Yeah, no, it's definitely lead form. Don't have any landing pages. Never found the need. I thought that I needed them at one point, and I was going to move to landing pages, and then I'm like, what am I doing? This is working. I mean, it's literally been working for a year and a half. Why, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
And we can produce the leads in quantity, right? We have 18 agents plus us, and they all get enough to make $7,000 to $10,000. You know what I mean? So you just have to do it the right way, right? I think is more or less a good answer to your question.
Okay, guys, tell the audience where they can find out more about you, maybe your YouTube channel.
And I think I just recently started a YouTube channel.
You did.
It's getting some great traction.
Tons.
I got 7 views. I've got a bunch of views, guys. Just go check it out. Watch all my videos from beginning to end, and you guys will be brilliant by the end. I promise you.
Put it on repeat one.
Yeah. So YouTube, just Ryan Valet. That's RYAN. V as in Victor. ALLETT. Everybody. That's 2 L's, 2 T's. That is a general mistake with my last name. So I'm on Instagram. I'm a bit of an old guy, so I think it's like Ryan Valet. Yeah. Ryan Valet Ryan.Valet, I think, on Instagram, Facebook, just look it up. So.
Someone wants to work with you. How do they contact you?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not as fancy as Dave with the fancy website or anything. Yeah. It's coming. It is coming. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll set up a landing page coming soon.
There you go. Where do they go?
Yeah.
Where do they go?
Just email us at RYCOHAVEITALL@gmail.com. Shoot us your information. We'd be more than happy to talk to you guys. I do, if you don't mind, Dave, I'd like to add just a couple things to kind of help people.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I'm just going to give y'all my number and y'all can text me because that seems to be easy.
There you
go. Area code 210-606-7118.
Do it again.
210-606-7118.
Excellent.
Yeah, so the just a couple things that I wanted to add because I listened to Johnny and Julian and everything, what they were talking about. I would have to push back on Johnny, and I think he'd appreciate this. There's no magic bullet. I disagree, to be completely honest. Having a mentor is the magic bullet. Honest to God, like I truly believe that is the sleeping gun. At any rate,
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Secret sauce.
But yeah, I would say that is the biggest thing. Both Cody and I ran through that whenever we came into the business. Thank God we wound up with Dave. Having a great mentor, someone who can really show you the ropes, explain to you what. There's so many mistakes to be had in this business, and that's what I see takes a lot of people out is the mistakes. So if you really focus on those, finding a good mentor, I just can't stress that enough. That truly is the secret sauce. So, and then the other thing, anytime you're going through the script is talk to them like they're your own family. I would say that's my biggest shtick whenever I'm on the phone is, hey, look, that's how I sold the guy yesterday. I was like, hey, look, I'm gonna treat you as if you're my own brother. He was a little older. He probably could have been my dad, but I was like, I don't want to make him feel too old. So I was like, I'm gonna treat you like you're my own brother. Look, if you are in the best plan, because he'd already been talking to a guy and it was going to be X amount. I said, look, if I wouldn't recommend it to my brother, I'm not going to recommend it to you. So always keep that in mind whenever you're talking to somebody, that treat them like they're in your own family and let them know that. Don't just do it. Tell them that. So
excellent. So Ryan Valet on YouTube. Guys, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good job. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Okay.